Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Guitar Geeks podcast. For you Chaps and Chapettes joining in, thank you for joining us once again. If you are a new viewer or a new listener, my name is Josh Castle. You can find me at The Corona Mortis, and you can find the podcast at the Guitar Geeks Podcast. We're on Spotify, we're on Amazon, we're on Google Play, everything you can name, we are up there. And I am extremely happy to have this guest on today because we've gotten to know each other, I think, as a lot of people have done during the COVID times. We met up at the UK Guitar Show. He is one badass motherfucker with a huge beard and a love for Metallica. Matt the Riff Master, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm good, man. Happy to be here.
I mean, we've been talking about getting you on for a while, but we finally managed to get a time, get you on and enjoy talking about Metallica and Hetfield and beer and God knows what else.
And beer, yes.
We're British, we like our beer. What can I say? So, Matt.
Absolutely. No, mate, I agree. Yeah, go.
For those who are not aware, who are you and what do you do?
I'm just a guy that plays guitar. No, so yeah. I started off my YouTube channel a couple of years ago. Well, about 5 years ago. I thought I was actually watching Rob Chapman online on YouTube, and I thought, well, fuck, I can do that. And then I started just putting the camera in front of me, talking bollocks, playing guitar, and people seem to like it. So I guess I'm doing something right.
Yeah, you've definitely done something right. You know, you got your Grainger Guitars and you got a nice little Ernie Ball, endorsements. So obviously things have gone well for you since that.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I wasn't expecting. I always thought about it, but when it actually happened, it was a bit like unreal because all my favorite artists are on the Ernie Ball artist page. Then you've got my fucking mug just like
that was like it when I was drunk one night. I just thought I'm going to email EMG and see if they'd sponsor me, and that, lo and behold, a week later they sent me out pickups saying welcome to the roster, and I was like, holy shit. So
mate, fair play, that's cool. Yeah,
I think you're in the same boat as a lot of people where Rob Chapman was a real big kind of influence in starting up that YouTube guitar community, that kind of spawned a lot. But it's going to be a really stupid question because I know where this is going, but where did your guitar journey actually start for you?
So, okay, it's quite a cool story. I love telling it. So I don't know how old I was. I was only small. And my mum had a friend. And this friend was into his Metallica, Pantera. He played guitar, proper badass motherfucker, tattoos, mullet, the whole 9 yards. And one day I went round his house. He was looking after me and I heard a noise from upstairs. So I went upstairs and the loft hatch had some legs dangling out of it. And I heard this almighty noise and I was just like, what is that? And obviously now I learned to know that it was the Enter Sandman riff played through like some old Marshall amp with like an old tube screamer pedal.
Oh.
And from that day, I was like, I want to make that noise. I need to make that noise. So he showed me all his Metallica DVDs and everything. And from then on, I was hooked. I wanted my first guitar. And the rest that's all I ever wanted to do.
It was definitely the Enter Sandman. That was just, and then that was it.
Classic legend. It was the riff, but it was just the tone of his guitar. And the noise I heard, I remember just being like stopped in my footsteps, just thinking, what the hell is this? And then I was amazed. And then that's what I wanted to do. And that's all I've ever really been good at doing is making horrible noise through a guitar amplifier.
Heavy scooped goodness.
Mate, absolutely. The uglier, the better as well.
You got that good guitar tone when you pull the same face. If it's like a really bad fart and it's just like, oh.
Yeah. One of those wet, squelchy ones you're not sure about, Yeah.
The shart.
Yeah. No, mate, that's true. You can't beat a good riff face. That's what it's about.
Was there like, once you kind of started listening then to, I guess, Metallica yourself, and once you picked up the guitar, was literally the first thing that you went to was Enter Sandman, or did you do what everybody else does and do Nothing Else Matters, or did you even go simpler than that?
So basically this friend of my mum's, he lent me and my brother his guitar. And my brother sat with it one day and he started playing a Nothing Else Matters, like the open string intro. And we would just play that over and over thinking we were the greatest things on the planet, I was like, this is it. And my mum said, oh, there's another part to it, don't you? And I was like, damn it, all the pull-offs, the hammer-ons, all the fancy stuff. But yeah, it was that. And then I started to learn the Enter Sandman riff. I remember sitting downstairs with him and he was showing me it. And I was like, oh my God. And I just couldn't get it. And it was so frustrating, but I just stuck with it because I knew it's what I wanted to do. And when I learned the Enter Sandman riff, I just couldn't stop playing it. That's all I played. Just that one riff.
What was the guitar that he lent you? Can you remember?
John, mate, do you know what? It was like a black Les Paul copy. It was more like a Les Paul classic vibe, or a studio vibe, I think. But it was like all black. He had EMGs in it, and it was by a company called Rockwood, which I'd never heard of ever. I still can't find them anywhere.
I don't think I've ever heard of
that. No, but that thing is like, we call it the Holy Grail because that's where it started for everyone. But it sounded amazing with the EMG Zakk Wylde setting. It was just like huge.
It's not hard to see that you are influenced by Hetfield, and just watching your channel, it's all obviously like very rhythm. Not very often you pull out the lead work, but you do it from time to time like Hetfield does. Was it literally just that pure aggressive down picking that drew you to Hetfield?
I think in the beginning it wasn't what he's known for, his down picking. First time I saw him was on the Cunning Stunt, the DVD, the Cunning Stunts back in the Load Reload. And to me, just looking at him on stage, I was like, that guy's fucking cool, man. Like, look at the way he plays. Like, he's like that. He's just cool. And I was amazed, and I was just completely just drawn in by it. And then I started to understand his way of playing and his playing styles. And that's kind of the path I went down. I love rhythm guitar. It's just, for me, it's aggressive, it's loud, and it just gives me a little shiver up my spine. Like when you go for a pee and it makes you.
I'm glad you could say, because at least I'm not the only one that you can't even go for the piss. Oh, what did a ghost just walk through me or something?
Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah, but I mean, it's just his overall, just everything about him on stage was just really cool for me to see, and definitely heavily influenced by him, which is obviously, it's not a bad thing, because he's the guy that really helped me on my journey of rhythm guitar. And I think, I'm doing all right. I think.
Well, I think, your statistics kind of at least show that you're doing all right. I think it's very hard now to find a guitarist that's into metal that hasn't at some point been influenced by Papa Het.
Yeah, well, he's God, isn't he? He's God.
Regardless, there are some people that say, oh, Metallica suck, Metallica sell out, blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't matter who you are. Everybody always has one Metallica song that they will like, whether they want to admit it or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Even the ones that completely slate them, they still deep down listen to those few little songs that they just can't deny loving,
Sad but true is probably on everybody's playlist at some point.
I think so. Like, that riff and that groove is just something that just can't be beaten, I think. And it's just sexy.
Yeah. I mean, the song that really works for me is Blackened and Sanitarium. Those two I could listen to for days on end.
I think Sanitarium for me was one that when I listened to it, I was just completely drawn in by that intro. It was just as simple as those just little harmonics were, it was just something that was just like really just fucking awesome. And I remember learning that as well, and thought I was really cool.
I remember the first time I heard Sanitarium, I was like, what the hell is that? I've never heard a guitar make that noise before. I was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Oh.
That was just, yeah, that was the same as me. Those harmonics. I'm like, how is he making that noise? You know, you can see him playing it. You're like, oh, his fingers are here, but how is he making that noise? But then obviously you learn, didn't you? But
which I mean, you'll probably be the same with me on this. When you'd found, looking at Metallica on YouTube, and there's always that video of Kirk Hammett playing through some of the Metallica riffs of the old ESP V.
Oh, the way we was teaching riffs from Master of Puppets.
Yeah, and it's like dead battery.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think I watched that about like 500 times back then.
Yeah.
Just trying to learn these riffs, But yeah, that was cool. Classic.
I think another band that you're quite heavily influenced, I'm always seeing you talking about them, is King 810. That's another band that you really dig. Seen them. I've seen them a couple of years ago back in Birmingham.
Yeah. What do you think?
They when I listened to the studio stuff, I was just like, I'm not sure, because originally I was seeing Death Blooms, who my mate was playing with at the time, and they were supporting King 810. And when I was there, it was just like prop. It reminded me of Suicidal Tendencies times 1,000. That kind of really aggressive. It's not surf rock really, but yeah, just very aggressive. Like it makes you want to punch walls.
Massively. So I story about them. First time I listened to them was on the way to Bloodstock 2017.
Oh yeah.
And I listened to them because I knew they were playing, so I thought I'd check them out. I listened to one song, and I think like my life changed. They've got such a good story. The singer, he tells everything he sings about or raps about and stuff. It's all about what's happened to him on his growing up in Flint, Michigan. And it's one hell of a story. Like, I still one of my favorite bands today. But live, I've seen them a few times. I saw them at the Thekla in Bristol, which was a boat.
Yeah.
That is a nightclub. And that motherfucker, that was rocking, man. That was insane. Like, they put on probably one of the best live shows I've ever seen. 100%.
I always find some of the smaller bands in smaller venues, sometimes just because it's so close, they do. Sometimes, there might not be, fancy lights and pyro or whatever, but those little intimate shows are always fucking great.
Mate, yeah. Like this band, when they do most of their shows, it's literally the band and then a guy who stands backstage with a laptop.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Like, that's it. They do everything themselves. Merch, they do all their merch themselves. They arrange the shows themselves. So they're absolute workhorses. But yeah, a big band that are close to my heart, 100%.
Matt repping the King. So kind of you and me, both on our YouTubes, we do a lot, obviously a lot of covers. And as we will also both know, that comes with so many fucking minefields. It's ridiculous. Copyright claims or videos taken down and bits and pieces like that. And it can be very much a bugbear. And especially with Metallica, because Metallica are very much, as soon as you post fucking doom, do it, and that's it. Video blocked. Have you managed to overcome that and, actually being able to build that following with the restrictions?
So for me, I found on YouTube, since I started doing the covers, all I've ever got is just a copyright claim, right? Which they're claiming their music. It's fine. It's not a strike on the channel. You just can't monetize that video, which is cool. It's fine. There's been a couple of times where I've spent like 2 days recording and filming a cover. I'll upload it and then it says it's blocked. And like 84% of my viewers won't be able to watch it. So I'm thinking, like, what's the fucking point there?
I've had that.
That's the only real struggle. That's the only real struggle I've had when you've put so much into it and it's blocked. But I think after a while, it does unblock sometimes. So I just upload it anyway, just because I put the work in, it's going out. Okay. But it can get us mainly on Instagram, I think, with covers, because Instagram are huge for just taking people's stuff down, which it's not cool because, you know, you're not doing anything wrong. You're just sharing your love for that band with everyone else. I think Instagram are just a little bit hot-headed.
I think all social media and YouTube, it's definitely, it's almost like, because the market's so saturated, they're almost trying to reduce that saturation in a way. But it's kind of like I say, if copyright claims, not a problem, because, you know, we are playing other people's material. So of course they should be able to take the money for it. But one for me, like you say, 2 days, whatever. I remember doing a Deutschland one when that came out. And I programmed all the drums myself. I'd done the keys and the synths myself. I did all the guitars, I did everything by myself. It took so long. And then did the video for it, had a nice little green screen effect to put a costume on, and blocked. And I was just like, fuck off.
Mate, it's not cool. Because like you said, you put so much work into it, you know, and then you just completely shut down. It's not cool, but.
And then you'll film one random one at like 10 o'clock at night when you're bored, and it's the lowest quality video you'll ever do, and it'll be fine.
Yeah. I think like social media just doesn't want people to succeed.
You're probably not wrong there. We need to start doing pedal demos or something like everybody else.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, we just have to start taking our clothes off or something. That seems to be what's all over the socials these days.
Yeah, we'll do the combined Metallica and Rammstein OnlyFans. Yeah.
We should do like a heavy metal calendar where we're just like strategically covered with guitars.
Yeah, just like have the headstock like covering the junk. I mean, it wouldn't need to be a big headstock, you know. It could be a little thin Kirk Hammett one.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. That's it. Yeah.
So, something I really
I'm up for it. You let me know, we'll do it.
Yeah, man, absolutely. When we meet up, we'll do it. We'll get some hay bales, and we'll be stood on hay bales, legs like, look at this piece of wood.
Yeah, mate, I'm down.
So let's talk ESP guitars, because it's both Rammstein, both Metallica, heavy ESP users. And if you want guitars that can do metal, I think the go-to is ESP. We've both owned tons of ESPs. Let's talk about love for ESP, man.
Yes. ESP, I think I obviously got into them because of Metallica, you know. And I got my I had my 2 snakebite guitars, which were phenomenal guitars, like absolutely amazing. Sadly, obviously we don't have them anymore, but they served their purpose, and they did me well, you know. And then one day I obviously got my full-blown ESP, you know, the black one I have.
I love that.
And that guitar is fucking amazing. Like, I was so happy when I first got it. And even to this day, it's like, yeah, I've got an ESP like James Hetfield. Woo, yeah.
It's something special, isn't it?
But
Especially
no, it's
kind of when you look at an artist and say, oh, yeah, they're using that. And then you kind of have one yourself. And it's like, oh,
yeah. Yeah, no, that's it's like, because like watching Metallica when I was growing up, it's so cool because they had all their signature guitars, and it was like, oh, how awesome is that? And I mean, for me now, having my own signature guitar was kind of like a dream come true, like, because all my favorite guitar players have got one, and now I've got one myself, which I will wait.
Those YouTube viewers
Right here.
I saw that in person when you just announced it. It's so beautiful.
You did, mate. And this thing is just phenomenal. Like, it's really heavy though. Like, it's so heavy, but the tone that it produces and the work that went into it, it's just, yeah, man. But yeah, I've got that picture of me and you at the guitar show.
Yeah, we'll pop it like down here in the video so y'all can see it.
Yeah, there you go.
It's very reminiscent of
yeah,
like
man,
a JH1 meets the Kirk Hammett sort of V, especially with the white pearl pick guard.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've really got into my flying V since I got my Gibson flying V, and I just wanted another version on the market that was really any good. It was all too pointy, like everything was pointy. So yeah, I just got like a stock flying V design off the internet, modded it up a little bit, sent it off to Grainger Guitars, and then boom, they made exactly what I put together, and that's the only one in the world. The only one.
It's always a pretty neat thing to have something that is the only one.
Yeah, it's quite special. And there's something about it. Every time I play it, it kind of, like, you'll understand this because you play guitar, but this guitar, compared to all the others I've played, it inspires me in a different way. You know, like I feel really inspired to write my own stuff when I pick it up, because I'm like, this is my signature model here. And then fucking just start wailing riffs and riffs and riffs.
There's always kind of that one guitar in your collection that just has, it's the thing that only, like you said, a guitar player will know, where it just has that special something. There is something about it, you know, that just works.
Yeah, 100%.
For me, it's my Chapman ML one. It's probably the cheapest guitar in my collection, and I banged a set of EMGs in it, and I've got the same EMGs in my RZK. They're both older, you know, with maple necks and, you know, rosewood boards, but there's something about that Chapman that just, when I pick it up and I hit that open sus, you see, and it's just like, yeah.
Jizz in your pants.
Literally, there is just something like ridiculously special about it, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, no, it's good when you've got that. I mean, I've seen the videos with you playing that, and like, it sounds amazing. Yeah,
it plays as well as it sounds. The neck on it, I mean, originally the neck had a, you know, like that glossy finish. You know, when you start to take away that glossy finish and it goes slightly satin, that's where that neck's got to now. And
right,
it's actually going to a tech on Monday, and it's getting refinished. I'm having it relicked.
Okay. Oh,
yeah. So watch your space. It's going to look sick. It is going to look absolutely sick. But I told him, I said, if you touch or ruin that neck, I said, you're not getting paid. I said, that neck needs to stay the way it is, because it's just perfection.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah. I mean, guitars are great. I've had so many throughout the years, and there's been some that have been okay. Some have just been a guitar, but they're, like you said, there are a few that are just really special. You know, something about them.
What was the one that got away?
Oh, fuck. Okay, so oh, mate, there's a few that I've like got rid of now that I still wish I had. Like I had a LTD V50. It was like a white pointy flying V. That thing was absolutely amazing. The stock pickups in it were just chug, and they were passive as well, which is different for me. But that guitar was sexy. Like, it was so sexy. I had the Matt Heafy Epiphone as well. That thing was cool. I wish I still had that. I don't know why I got rid of it. I'm such a moron. But, you know, being a musician, you need money. You've got to do what you got to do, you know.
That's it. Like, I remember the red one that I've just claimed back was my first guitar I bought with my own money. And then, like, I sold it, you know, after a couple of years, because, you know, you're always selling to upgrade and upgrade and upgrade. And I think I sold it for one of the Kirk Hammett ESP, the LTDs. And then it come with this, like, Floyd, you know, come with the Floyd Rose. I was like, what the fuck is this? And you go, woo! And I was like, oh, hello. And then just hit that 15. And then you hit that 15 with a bit of wah, and it's like, and then bang. And I was just like, okay. How do I fix this? Why is my guitar not in tune? And yeah, And I managed to reclaim it back. But the two that got away from me was I had a Truckster, and I loved that Truckster.
Yeah.
I had the Truckster in grey, which now is like gold dust. Finding one of those now, not impossible. Yeah. And I had £1,000 off my parents for my 21st, and like, go and buy yourself a guitar. And I did, on the Facebook, UK Gear Exchange and all that. I was like, £1,000 spend on a guitar. What have you got? And I really still wish I would have took this offer, but someone came to me with a white ESP Horizon with all gold hardware, gold pickups. And he said he wanted 900 for it. And I wish I would have took it, because that guitar just looked phenomenal.
Yeah, that's, I know what you're on about. That was, you should have got that. You fucked up.
I fucked up big style.
But yeah, the Truckster, I've always wanted the Truckster. I love the Truckster, but that's why I got that, the black ESP that I have, because it's very similar.
Yeah.
Because I could never get hold of a Truckster, but those things, I like the black one.
I preferred the black one, but the black one wasn't out when I got the grey one. So weirdly, when I got that one, it was between that Truckster and the Alexi Lahayo V with the yellow pinstripe that was on it. It was between them, and I couldn't quite get comfortable sitting down, so I went for the Truckster in the end. But I missed that guitar. Yeah, I ended up
maybe one day she'll come back.
It went to PMT in Birmingham, and I remember the last time I went there was a couple of years ago, and it was still there. It hadn't sold. So, but tracking it down now would be a tremendous ball ache. I don't know if you saw because I always look on Reverb at old ESPs. Did you see the Eat Fuck MX220 that was on Reverb last week? It was an original first run of Hetfield's Eat Fuck MX. In that,
how much was that?
$31,000.
No one got that money. Wow.
It has the middle finger inlays, the banana headstock, that sort of off yellow, off white satin finish, mint condition, but they were wanting $31,000 for it.
Oh,
if I had the money, I would.
Think about it. If you had that guitar, how fucking cool would that be? If you had that guitar.
One of my mates, it's not far from you, he's up in Huddersfield, and he's got an MX. He's got an MX that he got secondhand years ago. And I've never been a huge fan of Explorers. I do like how they're balanced, and I played that. He's a big Hetfield fan as well. He's got the Iron Cross, he's got the Snakebite, he's got the MX. And I played it, and it adds something. It adds something, man. The frets were worn down, you could tell the intonation wasn't perfect, but my God, it screamed.
Yeah. I bet.
Let's talk Blackstar as well, because Blackstar I think are extremely, extremely underrated amps, man.
100%.
And I've always wanted to own one of the series ones. I have to admit, because you've owned a fair few Blackstars in your time and still do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was it when you saw one of the pictures of Hetfield and you seen that Blackstar in the background that you was like, oh, I'll get one of those, or was it just what you could afford at the time?
So, So I had a Line 6 Spider 2. Okay.
As we all did.
Yep. And I wanted to upgrade. I wanted, seeing all my favorite bands, I wanted a 4x12 and 100-watt amp head. So I looked online and I came across the Blackstar TVP 100, reasonably priced. And I was like, fuck, let's do it. I got it. I plugged into it. I hit one open E and I was like, there it is. And for me, they always say their amps give you the sound in your head. And I always had an idea of the tone I wanted in my head, and I could never find it until I played a Blackstar. And then from then on, this was like 6 years ago, 6, 7 years ago. And from then on, all I've wanted to play is Blackstar. Because for me, my sound is in a Blackstar.
I've always been impressed with the clean channels on those. Those clean channels, when you have like Mesa Boogies or Diesels or whatever, the clean channels just always got that bit too much grit in it. But with the Blackstars, you run a chorus in the loop of a Blackstar on that clean channel, and it is instant Metallica.
No, the series one, the clean channel on that, the warm clean, that's what I use for all my sort of Metallica clean stuff. I just put a little bit of post chorus and delay on, and oh my god, it's just amazing. You think from like a high gain heavy metal amp, it's got some beautiful cleans. Like, it's insane.
When I had my Kemper, and I was looking for, that Metallica sound, and I think I went for a dual rectifier as my main sound. But the cleans, I found like a Blackstar Series 1 on ReampZone, and I was just like, I'll buy that. And I looked for a clean one, and I put a chorus on it, and I was like, oh, hello. And I played that Sanitarium intro, and I was like, yeah, that's the sound that I wanted. And it works, man. It just works.
There you go. Yeah, I love Blackstar. For me, it's so good to be able to work with them and to be endorsed by them, because it's a product and a brand that, I feel very strongly for, because of what they've helped me achieve with my guitar playing and my tone. Their amps are the reason, like, a lot of the riffs that I write come out, because of the sound.
Sure.
And to me, it just, as soon as I plug in and start playing, it gets me in, it just pulls me in. And that's it. I'm gone then. I'm away. And I could just sit there and play and play and play. It's amazing.
When you are writing your own material, do you think, okay, you might have listened to, I don't know, say Friday Ends of Sanity or whatever, and then you do you kind of go, okay, I want that but different, or do you literally just noodle and then you just work with whatever comes to your head?
So for me, when it comes to writing process, if it depends, like, it really depends how I'm feeling at the time. If I listen to a song, I may be influenced by that song to play it a certain way or play in a certain position. But a lot of the time, when it comes to wanting to write something, I never really go into it wanting to write anything, because then I can't. If I try and write something, it won't happen. But what I'll do is I'll plug in, I'll mic the cabinet up, I'll hit record, and I'll just jam, listen back, and if something's cool is in there, I'll save it and then work from it. I find that's for me, that's best where my writing comes from, is just sit and play and feel and see what comes through. Because if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If you try and force it, you got no chance of writing, or you'll end up writing someone else's song, which I've done before.
When I was trying to work on my first EP a couple of years ago, I was messing about with different tunings, and this is when I started to get into Ghosts. So I had a guitar that was in D standard, and I played this riff, and I was like, oh, I dig that. And then I put a 1 minute clip on Instagram of me playing it, and I'm like, you just done Sad But True but backwards. And then I listened to it and I was like, oh shit, it is. And it was literally like Sad But True but reversed. And I didn't realize until someone pointed it out.
Mate, yeah, no, I've done that. I've, like, a lot of the times on my acoustic guitar, I'll be strumming like a chord progression, and I think, oh, this sounds awesome, oh my god, and then I realize that it's someone else's song, and it's just terrible.
Yeah, Deep Purple liked this.
Yeah, cool cover, bro.
And copyright claim.
Yeah, goodbye.
So kind of for your guitar playing journey, what has been the biggest struggle that you've had?
I think the biggest struggle for me is sometimes staying motivated and staying inspired to put stuff out. and to write stuff and to just pick the guitar up. There's days where it's like, I want to play, but I just can't, you know, because I find if I come in and I'm not motivated or inspired, like I just hate it, and it puts me in such a bad mood. And that's that. Yeah, I've always struggled with times where I'm just not motivated, especially now with YouTube and kind of you got to keep up the content.
Yeah.
I struggle to get motivated to get in the studio to do stuff. And then I sometimes feel if I force it, I don't have a good time. So definitely being inspired and motivated, just have a lot of bad days like that. And practice as well. I don't practice as much as I should. You know, like I don't really like to call it practice. I like to just play, but I should play more than I currently do. You know, like not when I'm doing a video or if I'm doing anything, just to do a lot more of just sitting and playing, you know?
Yes, especially like I noticed with your channel, you know, it'll be like, you know, Bleeding Me cover or whatever. Then it will be why I use Blackstar, or, you know, what picks are for you. Where do you kind of draw inspiration from those? Because you'll literally just be noodling about and go, "Ooh, let's talk about picks or strings," or is it more just to push the brand?
If like, for example, like it's a bit of both, I think. I mean, when Ernie Ball brought out the Everlast picks, they sent them to me. And obviously I had to push it because of that's what I have to do. But if I think it's good, I'll do something with it.
Yeah.
Because if I think it's good and I think I can share this with people, and if I think people need to try this, like I'll put it out. I won't put something out if I think it's complete dog shit. There we go. Look at that.
See,
it's my boy right there.
It's almost like it was queued up, ready to go.
There you go, mate. Yeah, no, they're great picks, but yeah,
I've got the 1.5.
I think something's good.
What else have I got? I think I've got the chunky, is it twos? Yeah, I've got some twos as well. They are great picks.
Mate, I love them. Best picks I've used ever. They're just solid. Like because I play quite aggressive and quite hard. So they take a bit of a beating. But these things seem to withstand it, and they don't seem to wear down as much, I find.
I'll show you the picks I personally use. Sorry, Ernie Ball, but for ruining your product, I use Hawks, and as you can, this is 2.5, and you can see how much I've kind of serrated.
Wow.
I mean, I pick relatively quite hard as well. I'm like you, I like the chug.
Yeah.
But I found that, especially when you've got a thick pick, if you're playing something like Disposable Heroes, it's got that very alternating pattern. Just a thick pick really just does make it sound 10 times heavier.
Yeah, a lot of that sort of stuff. I go for the thicker ones. I mean, you've got like this one. No, not that one. I think the one you were using. Yeah, the 1.5, they're just built for it, aren't they? They're solid. Like they ain't going nowhere. The 1 millimeters are quite cool as well.
But, this is where we need
I love them.
Song, like,
I've used.
Let's talk about picks, baby. Let's talk about you and me. I forgot how the rest of it goes.
Yeah, no, I like that. Track it.
Speaking of tracking, for those that are following yourself on Instagram, there's been a few moments this year for you that have been particularly special, with one particular person named Gary Holt.
Oh yeah, I was wondering what you're on about. Yeah, Gary Holt.
Like that is something special, being involved with him.
It was cool, yeah. It was a fun video, and the tattoo just looks awesome. I love Satan and evil goats.
For those that aren't aware of the story, let's fill them in.
Okay, so I wanted to get a tattoo because I love tattoos, and I thought it would be cool to make a video. So I got the almighty Gary Holt to choose my next tattoo for me, and he did. Then I went to the tattoo shop, and if I can whip it out.
It is a sick tattoo. That is. It's very Gary Holt inspired. You can tell.
So yeah, that's a very special one for me, and it looks awesome. You know.
Was it literally you just randomly hit him up saying, "Pick a tattoo for me"?
No. I'm not that special. So what I did, okay? Have you ever heard of Cameo?
Yes.
Yeah, went on Cameo.
Ah.
Yeah, because if you DM Gary Holt, it's just going to the request list of the
Yeah.
thousands of people, So yeah, just zipped over onto Cameo and was just like, "Yo, tattoo, let's do this." And it's super cool. I love Gary Holt. He's just a super chill dude.
He's always seemed like a really nice, relaxed kind of guy. He does seem very down to earth, and I love some of his signature guitars that he has. Some of his guitars just sublime. That one that he had one made with Hutchinson guitars, didn't he? That was carved out of wood, and he's got the one painted with his blood, and it's just like
that's the one. That is the one.
It's sick, and the one that I always liked was that magma Eclipse.
Oh yeah.
But then I saw the price of it, and I was just like, "Nah, you're right."
You can keep that. I'll just look at it.
Like above your bedroom, on your bedroom wall.
Yeah. Most normal men have ladies, but we just have guitars and hairy dudes.
Well, I'm not sure about the hairy dudes. I mean, as you can see, my hair is very much disappeared.
Mate, I feel you. That's why I wear a hat so fucking much.
I have to in the sunshine. Whenever I go out in the sun, the hats always have to come out.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's it. Just grow a beard, mate.
I'm kind of there. It's a bit more short and sweet. And we've also, I saw yesterday that had me intrigued was the Coors Light can next to the mic with Naheem 92.
Yeah, I've got a little something special in the mate. I'm actually filming the first one this evening.
Because you've worked with him a few times. I think you did some Ghost with him, didn't you? Wasn't it? I think it was it Dance Macabre? I think you did with him, if I can remember.
No, that was right. Mark.
That was Mark. Sorry, my mistake.
Yeah. So Jazz has done some Bullet stuff with me, some Metallica, some Pantera, and yeah. So we're setting up a little something special, and hopefully it's going to go quite well. I hope.
Well, most stuff that you tend to land your hand to goes quite well.
I'd tell you why. So I had an image of it in my head, right? That's where it started. And I found everything with my YouTube, when I've imagined it, of what it's going to look like, how it's going to be set out, it's always happened and it's been quite successful. So I'm hoping it's going to be the same this time.
I'll be very much looking forward to, because usually the videos that you do with him do tend to do quite well.
Yeah. It's you probably already know what sort of content it's going to be. You've probably guessed it. But it's going to be a little bit different. But it's going to be the same. It's going to be a little bit different.
Different but the same. You couldn't be intrigued.
Yeah, it's just an excuse to drink beer.
If you don't mind, we'll touch upon that subject, because we've had a discussion before where we can get to kind of heavily involved with the drink sometimes. I've lost my uncle to alcoholism, things like that, and we've spoken quite openly about it in the past, having issues with it and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, how did you kind of pull yourself away from that at the time? Because it is a very difficult hole to get yourself into, and there may be some people listening here that think they may have issues with it, and it could be good to hear the opinions from somebody else.
So for me, I got to the point like 10 years ago or some shit like that, where I was really like heavy on the drinking and partying. And I woke up one day and I was like, I feel really ill. Like, I felt horrible. I was like pale as anything. And then that was it. I think I took my first sip of water in like 6 months or something. And I was like, wow, hydration.
Helped.
And then I just stopped. Yeah, I stopped because I just felt horrible for it. I did like 4 years completely sober, like no alcohol at all. Got my shit together like up here, and I kind of got to the point where I did fall off the wagon again at one point about 3.5 years ago, where it got bad again. But then I got rid of some toxic things in my life, and where I'm at today, like I can have a few drinks and party and have a good time, but I know when to stop and I know when I'm going to a bad place and I will stop. It's tough, but you've got to have that. You've got to have the strength to just say to yourself, like, fuck, stop. Like, just stop for a bit, sort your shit out, because at the end of the day, you're going to lose, like, you lose everything. You lose friends, family. You can lose your life to it, which it's not good. Moderation
is the key with everything. Was music and doing the YouTube content a big help with that then?
It was, yeah. I started YouTube while I just started when I just got into my sobriety thing for 4 years. So that kept me like focused and on track and away from all the negative shit, which was good. But yeah, I mean, now, like I said, I like to have a good time. I like to have a few beers, get a bit of a buzz, and have a good time. But like I said, I know when to stop. And doing this now, it definitely keeps me grounded and focused, because if I lose my shit like I did before, then I neglect all of this YouTube stuff. And because I've got obviously people that want the videos, I've got companies as well that I'm working with. So I've still got to kind of keep professional. So this definitely keeps me grounded and on track. But yeah, I still like to party. I just know when to stop, and I know when it's bad.
I think that's sometimes the hard thing. It's knowing that line of where to stop. I think it very much comes to the thing of like the way I would word it when I've spoken to some people about it, and I always say it's where you have that decision whether to drink or not, and if the drink is always going yes, that's when you know that you've got the issue. But if you can easily say no, then you're good.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, it's like before I'd like drink every day, but now it's I only drink when I'm like going out. Like if I'm going out with my girlfriend, that's pretty much when I really just drink and have beers. During the week, being at work and doing YouTube, it's some people struggle with that. Oh, I'm just going to have a beer. Then it's like 15-20 later and you're in someone's flower pot having a poo. It's not good. But yeah, it's like we said, moderation.
How do you, because we both work, we both put out YouTube content more, so I think you probably put out more than I do, but even for me, trying to manage a podcast, trying to manage bookings and working 12-13 hour days is always very difficult. You to come home and sort out podcasts or whatever. How much more difficult do you find it knowing that you have the responsibility of an image? Obviously now we've got the Riff Master VIP club kind of thing going on now as well. Is it a hard balance for yourself?
It can be, but I think like now I set up the channel members section, it definitely gives me a bit more focus to, even when I am feeling tired after work, to just be like, right, let's do this, let's get it done, because there's people expecting it. And I think sometimes it's got to be like that. As shit as you might feel after work or whatever, you just got to think, right, let's do it. It can get tough. I do struggle sometimes to balance it all and juggle it all out. But at the end of the day, like if you want to make it a success, you got to do it. It's not just going to happen.
How like when
So yeah.
you have the conversations where people always kind of go, what do you do in your spare time? You know, how have you had the responses when you're going, oh, like I'm a YouTube content creator? And
it's actually quite cool. Like people, they were like, if it comes up in conversation, however it does, I let them know like what I do and that it's kind of like, see, the way I look at my YouTube now, it's like a business. So I kind of say my work is like half of what I do. That's like half my income, then my YouTube. And they're always kind of like fascinated by it. So I always have to write it down for them and then I go check it out, which is always quite cool. But yeah, it's some people don't understand it, you know, because they're like, well, like especially with work, you know, if I say I can't do something because I've got to do this, they're like, well, it's just a hobby. Like you don't have to do that. But I kind of do, because if I don't do it, I don't get paid. So some people don't understand, some people do, but I love telling the story. I love telling people what I do. And I like to encourage people to do this as well, because a lot of people are discouraged from doing something like this because their parents or whatever will tell them, oh, no, you can. And if you want to do it, it's something you enjoy, share it with other people, you know?
And I think it's also good to look at this situation using yourself as an example. It's the realistic factor, because, you know, let's be honest, you say you've got multiple endorsements working with brands. I think you've got about 30,000 subscribers now, or
we should hit 30,000 by the end of the month. Yeah.
So, you know, that's still pretty, you know, very, very, very good in terms of YouTube standards when you think about as well how little time you've had the channel as well. And it puts into perspective for those that are listening that want to do YouTube content. Actually, even when you get to this stage, you still have to have a job as well.
Yeah.
Because most people think, oh, once you pass 10,000 subscribers, oh, I can quit work, I can do this full time. But actually, realistically, that's not the case, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's a tough one because YouTube and Google don't pay very well. But I think my goal is, obviously I'd love to do my YouTube full time. But obviously until then, I'm not just going to quit my job, because then I'll be screwed. But it doesn't put me off keeping on, you know. I don't think, oh, well, I'm at 30,000. Why am I not making a full living yet? Because I understand that it's not easy, and you've got to really, you know, put it in to grow and kind of, you know, reaching out and doing different things and finding different ways to promote what you do, like with merch and like the channel membership side of things as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to stop because I enjoy it. Like I enjoy sitting in front of the camera talking rubbish. And if I can make someone...
Did you find it as awkward as me the first time? You kind of, okay, today's the day I'm going to shoot my first video, and then you're there just like looking at a camera, and it's kind of like, I've got to remember that there's people behind this.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult thing.
My first video, I remember, was terrible. I had to cut every single section, and I would always rehearse what I was going to say before I put the camera on. But I think the more you do it, the more comfortable you get now. Yeah. And kind of it's more of a natural thing. So for me now, when I sit in front of the camera, it doesn't feel like I'm just sat in front of a camera. It feels like I'm actually talking to all these people. And I think that makes it a lot easier on you when you're the only one in the room. When you realistically, you are just talking to a camera.
Yeah.
But after a while, it does feel like you're talking to all these people, which is great.
Yeah, it was quite weird for me, because when I started up the podcast, I was trying to, I know that, like, people like Fluff has one. There's the Coffee with Ola. There's the Guitar Nerds one. I think that Matt Knight, does one. And I thought, okay, well, like, how can I make this one different? And mine was like, don't plan anything. Don't plan. You just go into it with, chill, let the vibes kind of phone it. It's very weird when I sent messages out to people and they go, have you got some questions that I can kind of prepare some answers for? And I was like, no. It's off the cuff, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it works better from that way, because let's be honest, we've all heard the questions of like, why do you like James Hetfield? You know, why do you like Jimi Hendrix? Or, you know, but if you could go back in time, what would you tell yourself? And it's just like, everyone knows that.
Yeah.
And it's finding that way to keep the people behind the camera engaged in your content. I think doing Metallica stuff, it's kind of like people want to hear the usual stuff, you know. I think it's a very small minority that like the niche stuff, like, I don't know, like 2x4 or Fixer, or, you know, some kind of monster, you know.
Well, yeah.
It's making sure that, you know, you could happily do a video on Blackened, get 100,000 views. You could do one on, I don't know, fucking say Fixer, and you might only get 2,000.
Yeah. It's the Metallica market is a difficult one to please, but I've kind of got to the point now where I'll put out some videos that I know are going to do well, because I know there's that market for it in my subscribers. But more so lately, I kind of just put out what I want to put out, because if I do something I don't want to do, I'm not going to enjoy it. So I'm definitely moving more into doing sort of just more shit that I want to do, because there's loads of things I've got planned, loads of different things I want to do. And I mean, like, I don't just want to do Metallica all the time for the people that like Metallica, because like Metallica are cool. I love Metallica, but I think I've completed Metallica, I think.
Achievement unlocked.
I mean, yeah, but like, I'll still play them. I'll still put out some, you know, covers and stuff. But yeah, the Metallica market's a difficult one to please, I think.
Have you had incidents, you know, with the Metallica nerds that are like, oh, well, you alternate picked this section and James Hetfield does it this way? And
yeah, mate, all the time. Like, you know, you put a video out playing Battery and they're like, why aren't you down picking Battery? What's wrong with you? Just like, what? You got down pick Battery. What's going on there? But yeah, no, I get a lot of them. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, I've played it. I play it how I want to play it. And if they don't like it, fuck them. That's it at the end of the day.
I think I've seen like a few times where we've I think we've both named and shamed a few people on the channels, especially like on Instagram, something like, what is this moron doing? Or
yeah. The thing is, though, most of them, they ain't got a fucking clue what they're talking about. I remember one, I did my Blackened acoustic cover, and because the chorus, I played it all with open chords, and Hetfield played it with just the power chords, and this guy was like, "Oh, you played it wrong." I was like, "But I didn't, did I? Like, I didn't. I just played it differently.
The same.
It's not wrong." Yeah, and he kept on and on with it for a long time, and like, I thought, all right, I'm just gonna give you this. Like, I can't explain anymore. I didn't play it wrong, because yeah, no, people are stupid. A lot of people in the comments are just stupid. I like to give them as good as I get a lot of the time. I don't really hold back, because if somebody's attacking what I do and what I'm passionate about, like, I'll tear them down. Like, I've got no issues with that. And if they're being nasty to me, or if they're being nasty to any of my subscribers in the comments, I'll destroy them. And that's just the way it is, you know. But when you do that, they don't like it.
No.
You know, you give it, they give it to you, but they can't take it. And I hate that. It does my head in.
Yeah, it's like, you know, when there was that time you'd go out for, you know, the pub, and people like banter, and it's just like, well, no, you can give it, but you can't take it. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yes, it's not good. It's not good.
How are you feeling about with, obviously, there's the recent news of now Kirk Hammett working exclusively with Gibson, and this new Metallica album is to please all the fans? Do you think it's more of a sellout for them?
I think that if I've not seen, is that what they said, to please all the fans?
I believe so, yes.
I think if that is the case, that's bad that it's got to that point where, because everyone's got their favorite Metallica era, everyone's got their favorite Metallica albums. But I think if the band are like, right, we need to put something out to please millions of people individually, I think that's a bad move. I think they should put out what they want to put out. Obviously, people are going to like it. People aren't going to like it. I don't know what my thoughts are on it, because I've not been a fan of Metallica's decisions for a while. So I think I'm just going to wait for the album to come out, and then I'll just go from there, see what it is, you know.
When Hardwired come out, you know, there were still people, I mean, ever since fucking 1991 or whatever, people have always gone, you know, it's never the same. Metallica evolved. I don't like them. And I still, yeah. And I think, one, it's like any music, you've got to evolve with the times. But two, I still think Death Magnetic, I think, is a great album. Hardwired had a couple of iffy songs on it, but I still think there are the essential roots thereof. You know, Kill 'Em All or Ride the Lightning or what have you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of every single Metallica album. I'm not a fan, like I said, of their decisions with, you know, certain collaborations they've done.
Lulu.
But I've always loved every Metallica album. Yeah. But no, I love everything they do, and the new album, like I know I'm gonna like that, unless they've got someone like Miley Cyrus on it, then I'm not gonna like it. But
I'm looking forward to seeing
it's
her
tough
cover of Enter Sandman that she's done, I think, or whatever is on this Black Album. And
I don't know.
I know that Miley Cyrus.
She done Nothing Else Matters.
That's it. Nothing Else Matters.
Yeah. I've got no interest in that at all. No interest at all.
I'm looking forward to hearing some of the versions of what some bands are doing, because apparently Ghost are doing one as well. Ghost are doing one, so I think that's going to be interesting.
Ghost are doing Enter Sandman. Chris Stapleton, one of my favorite country artists, he's doing Nothing Else Matters, and it's actually become the longest song on the Blacklist. He's taken Nothing Else Matters to like 8 minutes long.
I didn't think that was possible.
So, I mean, mate, I'm excited to hear it, because I know he's like a genius when it comes to writing songs. So the fact that he's taken this song and made it 8 minutes long, I'm really pumped for that. I think that's going to be awesome. But the rest of it, like, I don't care really.
This is going to sound like a really sort of, not a vague question, but like, I don't even know what sort of question it is to her, but a typical one. But if you could only play one more Metallica riff for the rest of your life, what riff are you picking?
Oh, one riff for the rest of my life, I'd probably go for. Oh, mate, that's a tough one. Shit. Okay. As of right now, of what I'm really digging riff wise, if someone had a gun to my head and was like, right, one riff for the rest of your life, I'd probably choose. God.
Insert meme here.
Yeah. I would go for Seek and Destroy.
Tidy.
All riffs included, but yeah.
Yeah.
Seek and Destroy is just a beast. I love that song.
I think if I'm picking one, for me, it's the section in Black and the opposition contradict.
Oh, yeah.
I love that one.
Mate, yeah. Blackened's just fucking riff driven, insanely good. I love Blackened.
It's such a fun riff to play.
It kills the right arm, doesn't it? Or the fucking...
Oh yeah, I just done a cover of a Devin Townsend one that I published yesterday. I did July, and fucking hell, the stretches I was having to do in that, because I'd quad tracked it as well. I had to do it for like 4 times back to back, and my hand after was just like
cramping, mate.
It was a different sort of cramp to the down picking, but fuck me.
Yeah. Down, no doubt.
So I'm aware of we've both got some sort of time schedules, as always is with these podcasts. I was speaking to someone that I've completely forgotten the guest that I was speaking to last night.
Professional.
Yeah, # professional. You know, it's because I've been having to book so many podcasts at the moment. Just keeping that content going. I'm losing track with everybody that I've got on. And fuck me, I've forgotten who I was speaking to. It'll come back to me at some point. # professional. And,
mate, straight up.
And we were talking about just trying to keep things tight now, especially like work and content, and it's such a juggle. That was it. I was talking to Pablo from The Sea Upon Us. He's just bringing out his new album, and he works in a hospital like me. And we were saying, like, you know, trying to come home and then do this and then do this and then do this and then do this after sort of these things. It's fucking mad. But yes, time constraints anyway. So we'll kind of slowly bring this to a close. So what has Matt, the Riff Master, got coming up?
Well, obviously the new video series that's going to be happening soon. I'm filming the first one today. I'm announcing it next week, and it will be out next Sunday, I believe.
So this podcast will be out the week after that announcement.
Okay, cool. And I've got a big one coming up at the end of August, beginning of September. Steve Marks from Blackstar is going to be coming to the studio with some sexy things that I can't talk about. But he's going to be coming to the studio. We're going to be setting up and filming a few bits and bobs for Blackstar, which I'm really excited about. And I think that's pretty much 2 of the only really big things coming up, I think. Oh, no, there's another one. I got a video that I'm filming next weekend, which is also going to come out on my 30,000 subscriber day. A special video, kind of, I won't give too much away, but it's Matt the Riff Master, the story kind of thing.
Yeah, that would be very interesting to see the growth.
Yeah, because not a lot of people know where the name comes from.
To be honest, I don't think I know where the name comes from. People
just think I'm an arrogant prick who thinks I'm like the king of riffs, but it's not that at all. Well, yeah, it's quite a cool story. So I'm planning it and putting it together in quite a cinematic sort of kind of style. So that should be done next weekend, which should be a good one to do. I'm excited.
You're not going to be like crying at the end of it going, I just want to thank you all for being with me on this show.
I want to thank my mum. No. No, it's going to be good because I like, it's a story that I really like to tell because it involves the guy I told you about that got me into guitar, who heavily influenced what I'm doing right now. So it's a cool story. So when that goes out, you'll know where that comes from.
Oh, well, we're definitely checking that out. It would be one of the YouTube premiere videos. You got.
I think I'm going to set it as a premiere as well.
Well, I'll get the bag
so
of
people
popcorn
can chat
ready.
Amongst. Yeah, man. Bag of popcorn. Yeah.
Bag of popcorn, a course light, and God knows what else.
Flashlight.
Have you seen that? I didn't know you'd seen that. I best hide it.
Just get a Pringles can.
A Pringles can and 2 washing up sponges.
You seen that one too, huh? Yeah, man. No, it's gonna be good. I'm excited.
It's awesome, man. It's awesome. So at the end of the podcast, we ask, but when I say we, I ask all the guests the same 3 questions just to get an idea of what's going on in their mindset. So this first question is, if you're listening to the podcast, you will know what's coming up next. If you can take one guitar, one pedal, and one amp to a desert island with no budget, what are you taking with you?
Right, I'll take my Sigma SG200 electric acoustic with a Blackstar Sonnet acoustic amp, and any chorus pedal will do.
I think you are the first guest that has picked an acoustic guitar.
Yeah, man, if I'm going to be on a desert island, you know, it'll be perfect and relaxing and inspiring, you know. You can't chug on a desert island, man. It doesn't work.
Massive reverb to the skies.
Yeah, man. That's it, yeah.
Secondly, what are you listening to at the moment on your preferred streaming service?
Oh, let me have a look. So at the minute, it's kind of going to not be at all what you would expect. So I've got Chris Stapleton because he's beautiful and I love my country music. I've just punched the microphone. And the singer from King 810 called Yavid. Well, his name's David Gunn, but his side project is called Yavid. He's just brought out a new album called Fly City Demons, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, it's just a bunch of country music, really, that I've been really into lately. Yeah.
That's why you had to punch the microphone. You had to like get your manly points back up after.
Yeah. You know, beers and tits. Woo.
Beers and tits. Oh, I love beer. And lastly, where can people find out more about you and your channels?
FBI's most wanted list.
And fleshlight.com.
No, so yeah. So yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Matt the Riff Master, Instagram, Matt the Riff Master, Facebook, Matt the Riff Master. It's pretty much the only 3 places that I am where you can see me be just a dumbass. I don't know.
And the pornhub.com/gay category.
Oh, yeah, premium. Yeah, there you go.
For all those special Matt subscribers.
There you go. You got to do something for the special ones, you know?
We've all got to sell out at some point.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Life is expensive.
Every hole's a goal.
There you go.
Shit. Matt, thank you ever so much for joining us on the Guitar Geeks podcast. It's been
thank you, man.
Pleasure.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. Been wanting to get you on for a while, and hopefully soon that we can meet up and do something together. I'm sure that can be arranged. Be good to see it.
Oh yes.
And hopefully it won't be at the UK Guitar Show in the next 6 months or whenever it's going to be, whether it happens again.
Well, wow, yeah. No, man, we'll hook up and we'll do something weird. Definitely.
We'll see you at the Grainger booth again, or the Ernie Ball one with Carl Golden.
Yeah, I'll be hovering around, probably at the bar, but you know.
Yeah, we'll both be at the bar drinking, be like, anyone autograph? Fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah, I might just get my own stand set up at the bar, pulling pints for people.
That's not a bad shot, actually.
There you go.
We got to think of a name for the Chug Master Light. There you go. That's the
Chug Master Light. Yeah, no, I'll go for that. Yeah.
Signature beer brand. You heard it here first.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what. Before we do wrap this up, I have thought about doing that. My own brewing my own beer.
Ooh.
Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens.
It'd have to be like with the clarity of a mid-range, but the scooped of the 2.5K range delicately enhances the might of this special lager.
There we go. Should we be writing this down?
Yeah. Well, let's just copyright that now so no one else can take it.
Right now, copyright.
Yeah, done. Matt, Boom. It's been a pleasure.
Right, there we go. Business.
Pleasure. And
thank you, my friend.
nothing but the best of luck with the future endeavors with Blackstar, Ernie Ball, Grainger, and all the new content coming forward.
Appreciate it, man. All the best for yourself too. And then we'll hook up and get weird one day and play some guitar.
Thank you ever so much, and I'm sure we will. I'll bring a couple of my ESPs and we'll have some fun.
Oh yes.
You heard it here first. Matt, it's been a pleasure. Thank you ever so much.
Cheers, bud.
Everybody listening on the Guitar Geeks podcast, thank you for tuning in once again. You can you can check Matt out in all the links that will be in the description box below on the YouTube channel. You'll be able to see his gorgeous Grainger guitar, his gorgeous long ginger beard, and you can also check out all of his merch. Again, comments, drop. I'm going to start that a bit again. Comments, put them in there. Let us know who you'd like to see on the Guitar Geeks podcast, and I'm sure we can get some people in. All of his links will be there. You can check me out at the Corona Mortis, and you can find us at the Guitar Geeks podcast. Once again, Matt, thank you ever so much for being on the show. And to all of you regular listeners and viewers, we will see you again on the next episode very soon.
Nobody take their clothes off.